What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here with some more Amazon review videos for you, all or nothing, and it's all reviews from us. I was up very late last night. I believe you weren't.
No, I kind of
slacked off this time.
Yeah, what can I say? Well, it was too late. I was, Spurs lost, and I was like, I really want to stay up now till 4. They deserve it from me. I have seen the first couple episodes, so yeah, let's get into it. I think they weren't as good as the other 3. I wasn't as excited to watch them as well. But there's still some interesting stuff in here.
Yeah, definitely. Let's start off. Obviously, this is our episode 7 review. It starts off with Leipzig at home. And then straight after the Leipzig game, let's just brush past that Leipzig game.
Yeah.
Straight after the Leipzig game, there's that team talk with Jose and the whole squad. And they're talking about defending and how bad their defending has been. And he said that he gave each player a video of all their defensive errors and none of them watched it.
Yeah, he said some of them turned it off because they couldn't face up to how bad their defensive errors have been. And he said, I understand because sometimes it's easier to run away from your problem than confront it. But guys, we need to confront the problem.
Guys. I love it.
Yeah, and it was Sham, the defending. He especially showed the which was one of the worst ones. Well, our first goal we conceded against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. And he goes, there's a shot here, no goal. But then it bounces to another Chelsea player. Shot here, no goal. Okay, but then again it bounces to a third Chelsea player, and then it's a goal. It's like, come on. How can they have 3 shots in the box without anyone defending? It's ridiculous, and he's absolutely right.
I remember saying that at the time. Do you remember being there at Stamford Bridge, being like, how can these guys have 3 shots in such quick succession
and no one guy?
Not even a challenge. I wouldn't mind if it's a challenge and you're unlucky not to get it, but there was nothing at all.
It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So. He was kind of tearing his hair out with that. Obviously, we end up losing at home to Leipzig 1-0. It was interesting at halftime. He was talking about it's better to keep a clean sheet. It's a better result than to go and try and score. Obviously, we end up losing only 1-0. But then it went to shit, obviously, in the second leg.
Yeah. And then it moves on to the kind of Wolves game. And he gives Winks the captaincy. And just before he gives Winks the captaincy, he's talking with Daniel Levy and bigging up Harry Winks big time. They're both bigging him up, really, talking about how he's so much improved as a player. He doesn't just play sideways lateral passes anymore, and he runs a lot as well and gives a lot of effort for the team. What did you make out of that?
I mean, last season I would have agreed. I was, as I've always said, I'm a big fan of Winks, and I think he's underrated in what he does, but. Obviously, first game of the season's impacted my opinion a bit when I say maybe he needs to up his game a lot. I think post lockdown he was pretty decent, but I think yesterday against Everton he was pretty poor, so he needs to up his game a bit on that. But I think Jose was just talking about the player who was playing at the time, and I think he was playing all right at the time, if I remember.
And then obviously he gives him the captaincy against Wolves, and you see his little. It was like Harry Kane's one, but down a few notches, kind of thing.
A bit more articulate than Kane, but not as forceful, not as it wasn't the most motivational. But I thought
when I watched it, I was like, oh, that's cute.
That's nice, that's cute. But the Wolves game was again difficult.
And if I remember correctly, he actually had an amazing game that game against Wolves.
He played well. I think Spurs in general had a good game.
Yeah, that's true.
It was interesting. It was interesting going to the Wolves game because we are 2-1 up at half time, and all the Spurs players really happy. Yeah, oh look, we're playing well. But then Jose's Jose's like, if I forget all the mistakes you made in that half, it's perfect, but I can't forget the mistakes you made. And he was like, you have to be wary of this, you have to be wary of that. And it all came true in the second half because we ended up losing the game.
Matt Doherty scoring.
Matt Doherty scoring, and it was a shame because I remember in that game Spurs actually played all right. I remember saying at the time we actually didn't play badly, but more defensive mistakes, more costly individual mistakes, and we end up losing. And then Dele and Dier get into it at full time.
Yeah, so the first clip you see after the game is Dele Alli coming into the dressing room, throwing stuff around, saying, how did we lose that game, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes and sits down and he's going, how did we lose? Why does this happen every game? Blah, blah. And he's going in on everyone, including himself, to be fair. And then Eric Dier just comes and he's like, just shut up. What are you on about? Why do you keep saying this after every game? And then
he said, put a name on it if you're going to keep saying that. He's like, come on, call someone out. And then he's like, it's the whole team. Who am I going to call out? And it was a bit of a stupid conversation. But Dier's just like, well, just call someone out. Who are you calling out? And Dele's like, well, I'm going to call out the whole team there. I'm going to call everyone out. Do you want me to call out the whole team? He's like, all right, Hugo.
It seemed like a stupid argument, like let's say two brothers would have, or something like that would have. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's what it seemed like.
Yeah,
It's just like
and then Jose,
no real substance to the argument, really.
And then Jose says, I'm happy you guys having this argument. It shows that you really care and you're passionate about it. And he said that that when we're trying to analyse the game and seeing why we lost, and we're trying to analyse where what went wrong. And he goes like Paolo, he didn't make any mistakes, and he said Winks, he had a great game in midfield. Serge Aurier had a great game at right back. Dele looked dangerous. It's just we didn't have that nastiness. We didn't have that tactical know-how. Whenever we went forward in transition, Wolves would always bring us down, would always make fouls. We would never do it. We always just let them play, and all three of Wolves' goals all came in transitions because we didn't have that know-how to tackle them, make those tactical fouls and bring them down the right times, and that's what cost us.
Isn't it so hard to take like a team who, like Wolves, don't get me wrong, Wolves are a brilliant side, but you wouldn't say they're the most experienced top flight side. You know what I mean? They've only been in the top flight for 2-3 years now, consistently. And a team like Wolves has that nous and that know-how to be dirty, how to get things over the line. And Tottenham, it just seems to have eradicated from us completely.
We used to be very good at tactical fouls.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's happened. I really don't know what's happened with this group of players. I really don't. And I was hoping that it was just a thing we needed time with Jose, and hopefully it is, but based on yesterday's performance against Everton, there's a lot more work still to be done, and I don't know where the motivation has gone, or if it's just, I don't know, but these players don't seem up to it at the moment.
Yeah. And then it goes on to, we first meet the goalkeeping coach. They're in a meeting, they've got Lloris there, Vorm there, Gazzaniga there, and then he's talking about how him and Michel Vorm have had a chat, and they've decided that Michel's going to start the FA Cup game.
It was just perplexing as well. They go through this whole thing with Vorm, his individual interviews with Vorm about he's saying how he hasn't played in 14 months, and he's so excited to play again, and every player wants to play, and it's been so long.
How mental is it? Yeah, he's going on. Yeah, he was so surprised he was playing himself.
Yeah, he couldn't believe it.
Wow, 14 months out with no football, and I'm suddenly playing like the biggest game for Spurs this season. And like I'm sitting there like, can you not see what's about to happen? Like, it's so obvious.
And it was weird because I think obviously defensively we'd been all over the place, and Nuno was saying like, we put a new keeper in, maybe it can mix things up a bit, maybe better communication or something, and sometimes it changes the dynamic when you change the keeper, so that's why we're doing it. But like, after what happened, I mean, I know hindsight's 2020, but anyone could have seen that coming.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously we go into the Norwich game and 1-0 up. We're 1-0 up half time. Jose at half time.
But wait, before you get into that, do you not remember seeing Gazza's face when he told him Michel's playing? He's like, what?
He couldn't quite believe it. And Jan was captain for that game. He gave a nice little team talk before. We're 1-0 up, and then I think Jose saying, look, we're 1-0 up, but there's a lot, we're defending okay, we're defending decent, but all these things you got to keep tight, you got to improve. If there's a chance for the second goal, you got to take it, but no, we're not conceding any goals. And then I'm pretty sure it was pretty late on, like 10 minutes to go or something.
Yeah, Vorm just completely fumbles it, and they go on and score.
And not only that, there was a sighter in the first half. I remember Vorm had fumbled it, nearly went in behind him.
Yeah,
he
managed to catch it.
He saved that one, but he couldn't save the second one.
It was a sign of things to come, that.
It was, and all of a sudden it goes to a penalty shootout, which we all know what happened.
He actually saved the penalty, Michel Vorm.
He saved one, didn't save any others.
And then didn't come close to any of them.
And then Lamella, Parrott, and obviously one of the worst penalties.
You've got to feel for Troy Parrott.
Yeah, and
but credit to Troy Parrott. I don't know if you noticed when Jose was picking the penalties, he just put his hand up, saying, "I want to take one."
I didn't notice that. No, so fair play to him. But Jedson, that was one of the worst penalties ever.
They didn't even show the penalty.
Yeah, he was too embarrassed. They wanted to embarrass. Lee was like, "You can't out. You're cutting out."
They showed him kicking it. But
they
didn't actually
Lee was like, "You
penalty.
better not show that penalty." And then obviously after the game,
Dier goes into the stands.
Exactly, there's the whole
you
malarkey.
see that Sacramento watching it on like YouTube or social media.
Yeah, the guy's like, you see what Dier done? And Sacramento's like, what? He's like, Dier went in the stands or something? And the Sacramento's like looking like, You cannot do that. You can't do it was pretty funny. Then Dier goes in the changing room, and it was actually surprising because I learned obviously a bit more of what actually happened during. I thought obviously the whole Spurs the line was Dier was like his brother was under attack or being abused or something, and he was going up to defend his brother. But what seemed to have happened in the documentary anyway is Dier saw a fan abusing him. A fan sitting 2 rows away from his brother, and apparently some other family members as well, and he was abusing Dier, and then Dier went after him for abusing him because he didn't want his family to see him being subjected to that abuse. And now I get why he's upset. The fan was a dickhead, no doubt about it. But you can't go charging into the fans because you're getting abused by him. That's not how things are done in football. And originally I was on Dier's side because I thought he was defending his brother, but that's not what the case really was. It the case was it was for his own pride. And although he obviously wouldn't want his family to see him being subject to that kind of abuse, and the fan is wrong. You can't go charging up to fans in the stands and demanding retribution or whatever. And
he made out in the dressing room how he was doing it for all the players, not just him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think the players were quite quiet. You saw he was like getting angry and telling us, oh, they're doing this, and then no one's really saying anything. He's like, you probably shouldn't have done that. That's probably what they're thinking. So I think the ban was probably correct in hindsight. I think I was against it at the time, but I think, yeah, he probably was right to be banned, and I on the whole hearings and everything were probably right. To be honest, I think Dier was in the wrong.
All right, so there you have it. That is our episode 7 review of the Amazon All or Nothing documentary. Check out tomorrow where we'll be reviewing episode 8. Let me know in the comment section below of what you thought of episode 7. And as always,
come on you Spurs.